Okay, so let's talk about this movie. It's coming out in 3 days, and I feel like it's the biggest movie we're going to talk about for a bit until King Kong. This is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, this is going to have spoilers more than likely because we're talking about Zack Snyder's plans if he were to be able to make a sequel. So, of course, we're going to dabble into some things that are going to deal with the ending of this movie. Now, I have not seen this movie, by the way. Don't get it twisted. I don't know anything about this movie. I haven't seen it. I was not fortunate enough for Warner Brothers to bless me with a free screener for this. I'm going to have to wait with everybody to watch it on HBO Max this Thursday. HBO, if you're listening, or Warner Brothers, why didn't I get a screener? Nonetheless, let's talk about this movie. Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut. Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut makes no damn sense, right? Justice League: The Snyder Cut is a movie I want to talk about further in depth in another video because I think it's a very important movie, not just for the DCU, but for the art of filmmaking in itself. And I'm going to get into that in another video pretty soon, maybe before the movie's released, because I think it's a grand achievement and something that's going to set the precedent for the future of filmmaking. But nonetheless, let's just quick rundown. Snyder, of course, was working on Justice League. Then tragedy struck and he exited out of this. Joss Whedon came into the picture, changed up a lot of things. We had a lot of bad publicity from it as well in the aftermath years to come. The movie got a terrible score and it didn't do so hot at the box office. Then the cries started to come for Snyder Cut, his vision. We want to see his vision. Ultimately, Snyder Cut started to trend here and there. It started getting a lot of traction, Comic-Con, all of that. And then we are now here after negotiation between Warner Media, AT&T, HBO, and all of that to let Zack Snyder finish the Snyder Cut. And here we are. So we are 3 days away and we are about to get a 4-hour length movie, where as opposed the previous one was about 2 hours tops of footage, and we're gonna get his whole vision apparently. Now, a lot went into this film. There was a lot of strings being pulled to really give us the full vision of it. Now, the thing about it is that we have to remember that Justice League was going to be 2 parts. It was going to be a part 1 that came out and then a part 2. But of course, after everything that happened, the DCU kind of shook things up. And now it's sort of like trying to flesh out and become a new thing in itself. However, the thing about that is we might not get a Justice League 2. We do know a lot of the actors aren't coming back. We do know the whole thing with Ray Fisher, Ben Affleck. Apparently a new Superman's on the way. So I don't think we're getting a part 2. But Zack Snyder did go on to say what he felt a part 2 would have. So he says, it's the fall of Earth, when Superman succumbs to the anti-life, and then sending Flash back in time to change one element so that doesn't happen. And then the big battle where we beat him, when the villain Darkseid comes to Earth. In the movie that you'll never see, the armies of Earth all unite again, as they did before. This time there would be aircraft carriers and special forces guys. All the armies of the world would come together. Aquaman's Atlanteans rising out of the ocean, and I just got tongue twisted with this word. That the Mascarans coming off their island, that was our big finale. But it's a long drum roll and guitar solo to get there. So, pretty much what I'm getting here is that the footage that we saw last week, I believe it was last week, that I talked about in the video, that's pretty much our ending right there. And I'm just like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that's how the movie's going to end. So how much are we going to see of Darkseid? That's my question right here, right now, after hearing about this. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like this movie is going to be bad because of this, because I'm excited. I'm excited to see what exactly Zack Snyder wanted to bring to the table with this film. And I think that we are going to get something very special indeed from him, because he put so much into this vision. But the only thing about it is that it's going to be the Snyder Cut, but it's still going to feel incomplete, I guess you could say, because we're going to reach a point when this film is over and we're left with a cliffhanger, as I've already seen IGN post about that as well on their review, that it's pretty much ends on a cliffhanger. So I think it's smart but it's also a gamble at the same time, because who's to say that so many people are going to want to see this next sequel, this next chapter in this film, for HBO to be like, all right, we got to pull all the stops right now. We have to get Ben Affleck back. We have to get everybody back on board. We have to film this next film and see how it does. Now, I think the biggest thing that's going to drive this sequel, if it gets made or not, is going to be the box office. Now, as we know, some theaters are opening up again. This film is going to be shown in IMAX, so there's a premium to that. I'm very interested to see the box office numbers on this. I think, however, streaming will play a part in it as well, if it does get enough streams and all of that, which we've seen so far with even films like Tom and Jerry. Box office has done great. This is a cult film, like, to the core, so I'm pretty sure box office is going to be great. So I'm wondering, what is that magic number? What is that number that Warner Brothers, that AT&T are looking for before they're like, all right, give Zack Snyder that suitcase of money and tell him to go do that next chapter, because we like what we're seeing here? That's the big question. I don't know what it could be. I don't know how many numbers in streaming they want. I don't know how much box office they want. I think we'll find out this weekend, and we'll see from reports what happens. Usually with these movies, there is always a forecast done right before Monday, where they're like, yeah, a sequel is going to be green lit. And then we find out like a couple of weeks later, like, yeah, the sequel's coming. So I think it's going to be very important to see what's going to happen with this film, where we're going to head with it. If it does great, it's going to be a good thing for Zack Snyder, because I'm pretty sure Warner Bros. And AT&T are going to want him to finish his vision. The reviews are sort of like giving it a C plus, a B, which isn't bad in my opinion. I think that the 4-hour length might turn some people off. I thought it would have been better if it was done in sort of like episodes, but then again, that ruins the flow as well. So I don't know. I think they chose the best. I guess they would definitely know how they want this film to be presented, but we're going to wait and see. What are your thoughts on Zack Snyder Justice League 2 happening? Do you want it to happen? Are you even excited about this Snyder cut? And will you be watching it? At 4 hours, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how many people sit through it, or how many people break it up into chunks. I probably break it up into chunks, but I will definitely have a video for y'all. I will definitely be making more of a thought on it after I watch it on Friday, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, Justice League 2, are we here for it or not? Or are we done with this and we're ready to move on where the DCU goes from here? Because I want to see his vision come true and be real. But again, I do want it to also not just feel like a shortcoming, you know? I want to see it all the way through, so I hope we get a Justice League 2 and we get that final, like his whole DCU story he wanted to tell. So yeah, we'll wait and see for that and see how that plays out. Anyways, as always, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you also give this video a thumbs up. I will be having another video on this right before the film comes out, talking about how important this director cut really is, not just for the DCU, but for Hollywood as well, and what it could mean as well if it's a success. So stay tuned for that video sometime, maybe Wednesday, right before the release of that. We will be watching Winter Soldier and the Falcon as well, so I will be having videos just like I did with WandaVision. Right after their premiere, I'll crank out the video for y'all. So stay tuned for that on Thursday as well, and the Snyder Cut comes out that day as well, so it's going to be pretty interesting how I'm going to break that movie up, because it's a pretty huge undertaking, but I will be trying to get those videos out for you this weekend, so a ton of videos coming. I also have a new series where I break down like TV shows, movies, music, all of that. More of a essay type video of sorts. And something I really want to get into is making more essay type videos. I'll be probably trying to release my first one on Thursday itself, and it's going to be on anime that I really enjoyed. So there's going to be a lot of changes coming to the channel. I really want to diversify it more and really give you something better. So less videos on news and all of that, but more of their bigger stuff like this. But I'll talk more about that when the time comes, definitely. As always, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Anchor down below. I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe, stay positive. Hey, if you're still listening, check out the video on the left. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. I'll see y'all next time. Stay safe, stay positive.